another computer over here set up so I can see chat when I'm polishing. So, how's it going? Got some good news. I've got a dog. Well, I've had this dog for a while, but have a look. Hey, Lola. Lola. Oi, this way. Oh, she's staring at herself in the camera over here. She thinks there's another dog here. But this is not actually any of the announcement. The announcement was the first screen. I'm holding her like she weighs nothing, but she's a massive 10 kilo dog. Was meant to be about 5 kilos, I believe, when we got her. Little cavoodle. She is obsessed with looking at herself in that camera. Well, in the computer. Hey, camera. Oh, look. Look. This way. Yeah, see? Oh no, now she sees herself in the other screen. Alright, you're going down on your bed. On your bed. And she's straight back up and harassing me again. So, we'll just get the announcement out of the way. We'll go to not my ugly face on screen the whole time. So you can see here, we've got the website, and the website is just about done. There's a few teething errors still coming up. Yeah, actually it doesn't show up on that screen, but it shows up on my screen here. So there's a few things to fix up, but you can see here, it's coming together. There's also another tab that hasn't actually been revealed yet. So I've got like an Opal information section where I'm doing basically just write-ups of a lot of educational videos that I've done. So yeah, we got a little, I don't know if I'd call it a shop. It's a tiny little store at the best of times with a whopping great big 5 item range, so that's good. It says out of stock, but I've actually got all of this in stock at the moment, which is amazing. And I was just going to say in this video, I'm going to get in touch with everybody that's been waiting and just sell off a whole heap of stuff before I list it on the website, because I've put the prices up on the website. There'll be a discount code for anyone that just types in like a code like YouTube. Probably do like a 5 or 10% off depending on what I settle on for the prices. There's a little forum in here. I know a lot of people hate Facebook. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Facebook either, so we'll have our own little forum in here where people can create posts and all that kind of stuff. And I'm hoping that, I haven't played with this one that much, but I'm hoping you can upload a lot of pictures and videos and all that kind of stuff so we can actually have a good chat, because YouTube struggles because you can't post pictures and everything we do is pretty visual. So I want to get that sorted out. And Facebook, yeah, there's a lot of people that I understand don't want Facebook. If I didn't need it, I wouldn't have it either. And then yeah, just boring things, about us section, contact, all that kind of stuff. More, my Instagram, didn't realize I had that linked. God, it's been a long time since I posted anything on Instagram. 1,000 subscribers. We're actually just about, I can't actually see it because I don't have enough screens. We're almost at 4,000. I think that's the number. Yeah, we're almost at 4,000. So yeah, I've been really bad with Instagram. I used it for a while, but I just can't get in. I can't get the hang of it. It's like TikTok. TikTok I have not even touched. I downloaded the app once and never even made an account. So that's how I am with my social medias. Watching all of the chat is going to be difficult, but that's alright. Oh, everyone's talking about you. Everyone's talking about you. Up you come. Up you come. So yeah, website will be up at the turn of the financial year, I believe. So I'll just keep writing for it and then release all that content as well. We'll go to... here we go. Yeah, she needs a haircut. Look at these paws. Fluffy as. God, you look grumpy. Too early on a Sunday morning. I've been setting up since 6 a.m. and she got up and annoyed me ever since. But I'm just glad we got this up and running. How is the microphone? Code Bob69. I see a few members in the chat. There's Evelyn, Hudmumper, who got auto-corrected to Mudhumper, which was really good. I love autocorrect. That was that'll forever live on at the end of one video. So no one is complaining about the audio, so it must be okay. I've got a microphone like just below here. That opal looks like an opal bullet, so that camera's working. Perfect. I'll just reposition myself. The dog is way over there, so that's okay. Try not to bump it. Good, it's working out well. Yeah, HUD bumper with the autocorrect. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to use, if I zoom out quite a bit. Oh, the stream is actually pretty delayed. If I zoom out quite a bit, you can see here, I've got the old Dremel stylo. It's very quiet, so I'm going to turn it on, and that's basically all the noise it makes at its lowest speed. So it should be okay. I don't know what it'll be like on the microphone, but we'll see. And I'll just string that around my neck. I do have the other rotary tool as well just over here, but I thought I'd avoid using it for now. The normal flex shaft is over here. But yeah, we'll go with the quieter, much weaker DC powered version that got sent over by a viewer, which is fantastic. Good old Michael. So yeah, we'll use this. I've got this opal here. I've got some cerium oxide just off to the side. The same stuff that I'll be chucking up on the shop. I don't know why people sell it for so much, but I'm going to basically sell the top quality stuff at the low quality price. It's quite possible, but I guess people are in it for the money more than anything. Whereas me, I am a terrible business person. And you can see here, this is the new splatter shield. Made that on the channel. Amazed. It was it had a lot of surprises for something that was meant to be such an easy little project. But it is what it is. I probably don't need to appear on camera, but it's nice to have Nick Hoop's Boulder Opal painting in the background, so I'll leave that up there. And yes, it is a very quiet Dremel. Sounds like my dentist. That's what I worry about with all of my videos. It always sounds like you're at the dentist, especially when you're grinding stone with a sinter diamond burr. It sounds very much similar to an opal, well, to a tooth getting ground at the dentist. And I've been bad and haven't been to the dentist for, God, a year and a half or something. I've got teeth that are always having issues. So that's actually a really long break. And when I go, they're going to want to drill out all of my teeth. So that's going to be something to look forward to for sure. So yeah, let's have a quick look at this opal. I think I'm zoomed in all the way, and hopefully the autofocus and everything works. It's hard to keep track of all these cameras. I've got 3 screens, 3 cameras, 1 not in use. It's yeah, it's quite a lot of effort. But we will work it out, and then we can do these. And I want to be able to offer people like consultation lessons kind of thing, because I've done online tutoring for so many other things. I think opal would be quite a fun one to do. And I know I've already got 1 taker. We haven't done our trial lesson yet because I've been too busy with 2 jobs, but I really do want to find some time on a weekend. But yeah, the opal bullet. The ends of the belemnite with that bullet shape are always incredibly popular compared to the barrel, the standard tube shape. Oh, I've got a dog scratching at a door. How much will you sell the cerium per 100 grams? So I do have a 100 gram packet. I think with discount, the YouTube discount, it'll be not that much over $10. Replace your teeth with belemnites. That would be amazing. There is a man out there with many opal teeth. But yeah, it's quite fascinating material. And this has already been worked on the channel and polished. I'm sure most of you guys have already seen it because it was a video that did quite well, probably because you can take a good thumbnail shot when it's a bright, shiny stone like this. So yeah, it was quite a popular one. And I just wasn't quite happy with the polish, so we're just going to go through and just hit it with the cerium oxide and felt. That's the standard method. So I've got this barrel felt. You can see that it's getting a little bit worn in the guts here, so it looks like I'm focusing a lot on using this section of the drum. And this is a very dense felt, so it lasts quite a long time and it gets a great result with the cerium oxide. It's good to just give it a little bit of a soak first, because see how, I mean, that's fairly hydrophobic like that. It traps a lot of air, so it's good to give it a bit of a soak. You can also do that in the cerium oxide water, and it actually sucks in a little bit of cerium oxide, but I've used this felt so many times that there's already a fair bit of cerium oxide in there. And look at that opal sitting there in the shadow. It's just so bright, this stuff. Julian has some insane stuff, and this is some of the best of it. Actually, it's not really. He had a whole 2 jars that he showed me that he pulled this out of, and he had much better stones than this one. So yeah, I will just go through and do this polishing thing. So turning it on, it's not going to flick too much water. I'm hoping it doesn't interfere with the camera too much. I'm hoping the splatter comes up here just off screen. So we'll see. And in terms of my cerium oxide, I typically just have a 1 cup container like this, and you can see there it's all settled on the bottom. But if you just turn your rotary tool on and dip it in, you'll end up mixing it up just by doing that. So we'll just let that mix up a sec. Pull it out while it's still on so it flicks off all the loose stuff, and then you are good to go. So yeah, you don't even really see much of it on the felt. Oh, I'm not used to using this stylo, but it's yeah, you just want to keep it nice and thin, keep the water there. As soon as your bit starts drying out, just off camera I'm just dipping it back into that solution, and you keep going. And then you can get all inventive and do some rotations around the side of it and stuff. This really isn't loud at all on its lower setting. I mean, it's also probably not that fast on its lower setting. Yeah, I think it's just saying the max RPM on this is... What does that say? 22,000? Wow, alright. It's definitely not doing 22,000 right now on the lower setting, that's for sure. So, unfortunately, I can't actually say what this is doing at the moment. I would guess very slow. But yeah, it's a nice... I love cerium oxide polishing of stones. It's a nice, relaxing time. You're not stressing about anything. The only thing you really don't want to do is accidentally hit the nut up here against the stone. So keep that as far away as possible. You can even just not set this in so deep. I've set it in all the way in because it kind of fit nicely like that, but you don't really need to. And yeah, for an opal like this, we're not going to see it get much better because I have already hit it with a polish once before, and it was all right. There's just a couple areas that I wanted to touch up, mainly here. But yeah, it's quite a relaxing thing. I've talked to a few people that hate doing it. A few cutters that say the polishing part is the one they really don't like. They prefer doing the rubbing and shaping, but nah, I'm all about the polishing. If they want to send me half-done stones, I would be more than happy just to sit here and polish. We could have a live stream, chat about random stuff. I'll have to get better at keeping up with chat. Let's have a look. Oh, I can only see a little bit back. Ah, Crom's here. Hello, Crom. I've actually got Cromstone just off the edge of the screen as well, which I could play with. How much does this sort of belemnite cost? Well, if this was... So I compare this one almost to the Virgin Rainbow. And, I mean, that one's much longer, so it's like this. And it doesn't have potch inclusion as severe as this. But something like this... Oh, I've still seen them sell for like 1,000, more than that actually, because this is like these can reach up to $1,000 a carat quite quickly. I can't remember how big this one was. I definitely waited, and I might have even priced it on that past video when I cut it. Maybe not. I don't like pricing other people's stones too much. I don't like pricing stones in general, actually, to be honest, with Opal. The rules are just so all over the place with Opal pricing that it does make it incredibly hard. It's probably one of the hardest skills to learn. And I don't even know it that well. I cheat and just look at Opal auctions listings, find something similar, and then run with that. But this kind of crystal in a normal stone and in fossilized pieces can sell for a lot, especially because this is the point end. The point end always sells a bit better, and it doesn't have sand coming right up to the face, so they do sell for quite a lot. So Bob's with me on the polishing. The polishing is, I mean, I'll say it forever. It is the best part of the entire thing. You get a nice result out of it. So I can understand why people like the rub, because you're revealing the opal. But with polish, you really do get that final touch. And then you get this glossy finish. This foil-like pattern that you just can't get when you're rubbing. Rubbing, you're only seeing the stone half done, and it's still not that great. But look at this. Once you get a little polish on it, you get this foil effect. And the colour just jumps to a whole nother level. This is what people Photoshop their stones to look like if they don't have a great polish. But yeah, just spend a bit of time with the cerium oxide. And you can't overdo it either. With sintered burrs, when you're cutting, when you're going through your Nova points, you can still overdo it. But with this, you're really not fussed. I'm not at all scared of grinding through a colour bar or losing colour. You could probably do this for hours and not damage the stone too much, as long as you don't let it overheat against the felt. So it's incredible. It's worth whatever you can get someone to pay. That is the end thing. The good thing with Julian is that Julian can sell stones like you would not believe. If anyone's been on his live auctions and stuff, he is pumping through material. That's why he's going out to Cooper Pedy all the time. He just can't keep stock. I mean, some of the higher end stuff holds for a little bit longer, because you don't want to hand out $1,000 a carat opal for nothing. But most of his beginner grade, mid grade kind of stuff, he's selling kilos a week. He's just getting rid of it. It's because he's got a great price and a great reputation. I haven't quite seen anyone apart from Riley Gunn at NN Opals. He sells even more through his NN Opals store on Opal Auctions. He sells as much as Julian, but he does it through a different manner. Though I really wish he did live auctions too. And people like the Blacklighters, they get through material. I think they're doing 2-3 live auctions every week. Well, my dog has escaped. She's out. Do I know the color temperature of lighting? Yes. So the LED panel that I use, I think I've done a video on it before. So it's a range of color temperatures. It's got half the panel are white LEDs and half the panel are yellow, and I just have it so that it's not quite fully white, like a full daylight. I do a tiny bit of yellow just so that you can see that they're on, and that helps you bring out a lot of these reds. The color correction is much better when I've got a little bit, just a hint of yellow, because daylight is not just pure white. So it's kind of like if you've ever been out in the sun and you get that slightly yellow kind of sunlight, hold up a piece of A4 paper and it's just slightly off-white, that's basically what I use. And that results in just letting the reds, because this camera struggles a little bit with the reds, so I'm trying to compensate for the camera And that, all of my stuff comes down to making the opal look as realistic as possible rather than as good as possible. Whereas some people really try to make it look as good as possible, and then they sell a stone and people get upset because it doesn't look like its photo. So yeah, it's basically a daylight LED with a tiny bit of yellow, just for those warm colours. Just for those warm colours. I'm hoping the camera quality, so the camera quality still isn't doing this justice. I think it's the compression, because this looks much nicer in hand. That's still the problem with live streaming. I don't know if I can somehow force it to just go really high quality, but then maybe my computer will start smoking. Either that, or I've just got my YouTube channel on low res. That could also be a thing. My internet's not the best. Any guesses as to the value? Yeah, I mean, your range there, 750 to 1,000 per carat. I think Aussie dollars, you can probably get up towards there. I mean, I know I overpay for fossils all the time. It's definitely my kryptonite, this kind of material. Even with these inclusions, it's still, I mean, maybe you'd knock it down to that kind of 750 mark, but some people, you could probably hold out and wait for trying to get 1,000 a carat. The problem is that it's such a big stone that 1,000 a carat, it starts getting to that scary price. I mean, some people will ask for more than $1,000 a carat for this kind of material, but Julian's always realistic with his pricing, so I've rarely ever seen him. He's always got the attitude that everything's got a price to sell, and he's not hoarding material. I mean, the guy loves opal, but he loves to get it out to other people as well, which is good. And he started after getting ripped off by a few sellers way back in the day, so that's why his attitude is like that, I think. And it's a good one to have. I'll always be happy. I like to wait until sun is low, an hour or so before sunset, to look at my opals. Yeah, so that's another good kind of approximation to the light that I'm setting. I am setting for like a sunset kind of light. It tends to get a bit yellower, a bit warmer before your sunset, which is why it looks much nicer when you're looking at the warmer colours. Otherwise you can lose them a lot, and you get those cooler blues and greens. Even yellow is hard to show up unless you've got the right lighting. You just need to make sure the light covers the spectrum that you're after, which is the whole spectrum when it comes to opal. We want all the colour. All the colour. This stone is actually getting a bit better with this polish. A bit better than I thought it would, actually. Maybe I needed to spend more time on it anyway. Sometimes for some of these videos, so this is a little bit of a insight, some of the videos I do rush the polish just so that I can spend time editing the video, and while the video is editing, I actually go back and sometimes repolish stones. Not like going through Nova grits or anything. There's definitely no major issues like that. It's just I like to hit it with the serum oxide, just like this, while the videos are rendering. My computer is slow. Every minute of video takes at least 4 minutes of rendering. So I've got a lot of time there to just do this. Basically. Yeah, if the TV is lagging behind a lot, I think that's what's happening with this laptop as well. I mean, I've got my live stream, which is, yeah, that's a immediate response, so no lag. But I've also got it on a laptop, and it's got a huge lag. It's like, I don't know, a minute behind. I could refresh it, and that might fix it, but for now I'll just keep going, and it helps me keep up with the chat anyway. It would be great to have a peek at the vein boulder. Do you still plan on resin treating it? Ah, now that, I've actually got it, so let's have a look. Let's have a look. I don't even have to move. Vein Opal, if anyone missed that video, this was sent over, and it is quite a good specimen for this type of material. I mean, you can see the colour difference between that and the Belemnite, but it's got this nice little vein. It looks like an Xbox controller. Someone in the chat might have actually said that way back. But yeah, it looks a bit like an Xbox controller, and because of the divots and everything, there is a chance of just resin treating the whole thing and doing a pour over it. I mean, I could do that. It probably will make it a bit better. It's just going to be really hard to polish this otherwise. Some of this softer stuff, if you see this kind of softer material, you're going to have a really hard time, no matter what you do, trying to get that to polish. It's a looser sand, and it's not, well, looser ironstone, and it's just not going to do much. So a resin coat will probably be the best way. You can see here how uneven it is. Each of these opal veins are sticking out of the material, maybe a mil, maybe half a millimeter, maybe up to a millimeter over here. So yeah, a resin pour, I could do it. I could definitely do it. Just flatten out the back, have it nice and steady, and then just basically pour the resin over the top. You can also use a small little torch, and once you've poured your resin, flash the torch over it and it'll get rid of any air bubbles. That's a nice little handy hack to have if you guys are ever going to get into treating with resins. But yeah, this is a fun little stone. Fun little stone. Beautiful color in it. Really having a hard time on camera, but beautiful color in it. The only problem is that you have to move it a lot to get it to sparkle. Midnight in Great Britain. Ooh. It's getting late, but it's the weekend there still. Time zones always do my head in, but I'm sure it's still the weekend, so not too bad. Nancy's here. Nancy, how's it going? How's Dimmy? Cold, I'm guessing. The only stone I've taken to 100,000 diamond was a black resin. It's the only cure for porous. Yeah, so if I just grab, where is it? This bag here. So something that I've got to trial on the show, on the channel still, is this bag. I have got the Nova Point burrs. So in green are the normal four combo set. In this bag, I've got the full range, so up to the 50,000. They don't do 100,000, unfortunately, but the 50,000, I'm going to test all of these out. I'm probably not going to stock them in the store or anything. Novas are very expensive, even for me to get, but I am partnering with Suva Lapidary Supply over in the US, and they're getting me stock. And yeah, I'm basically selling them just a bit above cost so that I can cover postage and all of that kind of stuff. But the Novas are never going to be a money maker if you're a seller in Australia. They're just very expensive. They're so expensive. I agree with Don. Only 8 likes at the moment. Oh, right. Talking about the likes. It's alright. It's alright. I don't push too hard for that kind of stuff. So it's colder and dimmy. It's actually starting to warm up here. Hence why I'm able to do a bit of carving. I haven't done the mining side of things yet. I've got some friends that mine in Andamuka and also a couple in Cooper Pedy. And also now I've got friends over in Lightning Ridge that are mining as well. But I'll have to spend some time to get off work and do a bit of a tour around a whole heap of different mines. Because even though I'm in Adelaide, it's still a long drive to get out there. And you've got to make kind of a weekend out of it. And flying out to Lightning Ridge would also be another option one day. How do you like this video? Yeah, got Suva on board, which was very good. I've been talking to, I think it's Chad. I'm pretty sure, 99% sure it's Chad over at Suva, and he's a great guy, and we worked out a whole heap of stuff. It's a process to get stuff from the US, but now that we've got it sorted, I think I should be able to keep Nova points in stock a little bit more, because it's been a real struggle, especially when COVID hit. When COVID hit, it was actually impossible. Actually, just impossible. If you could organise postage, it was probably more expensive than the items themselves. Actually, I don't know why I've got the... Don't really need the chat on the screen as well. Let me just get rid of that somehow. I think I can just do this. I think I can just do that. It's not really needed because everyone's got the YouTube chat. Anyway, it's a good spot. I mean, I've got the products ready to sell. So that's what I said at the start. I'm going to quickly just try to sell them privately to a bunch of people before I list it on the website. Because once I list it on the website, I've got no control over saying no to people. Once it's out of stock, it's just completely out of stock, and I've got to wait till I get more in. So I want to give everyone a good chance to be able to get stuff before I open it up to the full range of people on the internet. I think this, it doesn't take long, especially when you've already polished it once, it doesn't take long for it to get back up to scratch. And I'm hoping it looks a lot better on your screens than it does on my little laptop over here, because that is not doing it justice at all. Oh well. That's why I record the non-live videos as well, so I can not lose the quality so much. Even then you lose a little bit of quality in rendering, but if I get a powerful computer, I might be able to keep it full quality, no compression. Then I guess I've got to rely on my internet to upload it to YouTube in less than an hour per video. But we'll see. Would you rather mine if you have a choice? Mining it's a tough life. I don't think it would be really for me. It's just a lot of digging around, hoping that you find something. Whereas I would much rather pay someone to be able to go do that, and then I can spend my time actually working on the stone, because it's working on the stone that I like more than finding it. I mean, I'm sure it gets pretty addictive to go mining and find stuff, but yeah, at the moment, not having any experience with it, I would still say that I'd prefer to just be working the stone than digging around. Old full book, Facebook. Full book's not a bad way to think of it. You can always email roysrocks@yahoo.com, and I can get onto that. I've got a couple people on there that I need to get sorted anyway. So if you email that, hopefully you don't get lost in the emails, and I should be able to organise some sales before it goes up on the website for sure. For sure. Well, as long as it's looking good on some people's screen, that's all right. I think I need to bump up the resolution. What am I running at? Oh yeah, I'm at 480p. Oh yeah, 1080 it looks okay. It looks not too bad. Still a little bit foggy for my liking, but it gets there. Would you rather be a miner or a pirate? Probably pirate. Actually, no, I don't like water. Miner. Mining is not a fun day job. That is for sure. You didn't miss a lot. This one's already been worked. We were just hitting it with the cerium oxide and just polishing it up a bit more. This is it basically dry now. It's been out of the water for a while. And you can see it's got that beautiful shine. I always use the light, that little light reflection, and go over the surface. I mean, this has got some uneven parts by design, but as long as it's not pitted and as long as it's not, well, as long as it's flashing that light back at your eyes, you know you're on with a good shine. So that's good. I should test out my aluminium oxide as well. I don't get to use it very often. Actually, that area there could do with a bit more. In that area up there where it undulates a little bit, I think there's a spot there that can get a tiny bit more work. So we might as well. But yeah, I'm really happy with this setup. It's a little bit awkward. But it's working. So I think there's good chance we can do live full carvings from rough to finished stone. Maybe for those ones I'll have to have some backup stones as well, because they don't always work out. And I'd rather have something exciting come out of a live stream. So I might have to get a range of stones and just, yeah, maybe I don't know, within an hour you can get a stone done, so wouldn't be too bad. Hi, Peter. Oh, the flies. Well, that's why you go underground. The flies don't chase you down there, I don't think. Actually, they probably would. They get out of the sun. Most of my friends actually do open cut mines, so yeah, you've got no protection from anything. Bacon and eggs. Famo, see you around, Famo. I've got to meet up with you and get a bundle of stuff to you, so we'll work that out. A little dark. Oh, I'm getting it a little light on both of my screens, actually. Yeah, I think definitely bump up the resolution to the max. The 1080p 60 frames per second seems to be okay, not too bad. Still a little foggy though. Have I done any wire wrapping lately? Well, yes, but no one will ever see it. Because it is, I'm not getting better. I'm just not getting better. I don't know what's going on. I'm just not getting better. I think I've hit a bit of a wall. I need to practice some like fundamental techniques or something. My wire wrapping is awful. I really need to get onto the silversmithing too. That's still a goal. I'm actually building a couple machines as well. So that's coming along nicely. But yeah, those videos are going to take a long time to produce. You hit a roadblock, and with all the filming and stuff, it's, yeah, waiting for parts. Very annoying. At least they can't get copyright striked, unlike reaction videos to the Outback Opal Hunters. That'll get you copyright striked. I still haven't got that one resolved, which is why I put up a redacted version. Thought that video would be a bit of fun, and it turned out to be one of the biggest troubles I've ever put up on the YouTube channel. Yeah, the painting in the back from Nick Hoops. He's got some others that I really like at the moment, actually. He's got some with a little bit more green, and I like green. The blue one's alright though. Big fan of it. Love that it's just my chair in the shot. am I doing? Dunking it in water. You don't need to dunk this in just raw water, otherwise you just wash off all your cerium oxide, which is not good. Not good, you want that. I've always wondered, as I've never seen it on your videos, what RPM do you use for your burrs? Alright, let's cover that. So, RPM. RPM. Let me just get this Dremel down, and let's not drop it in water because that'd be an early funeral for this thing. So RPM, you can see it here. I can't change the angle to anything much better. You can see this one goes from 8,000 to 35,000. Now I've never set this for 35,000 ever, especially for carving opal. It's just way too fast. I sit at that 8,000 end for all of the sintered burrs and Nova points. It's just straight 8,000. You really don't need to go any higher. You get too scared of chips otherwise. Maybe the Novas you could go a little bit higher. You could go, I don't know, up a couple notches on the dial. So that would be up to about 10,000 RPM probably. But most of the time 8,000 it'll do. Even when you're polishing, 8,000 will do. It doesn't need to be that fast. So yeah, 8,000 I think is a good number to stick to. You can also do a calculation for, because it's not, let's see if I can show this off. Let's see if I can show this off. So we've got a Nova point. Got a Nova point here. And I've got measuring calipers here. So, Nova point. Calipers, which are locked at 0 for some reason. Oh, I'm going to need some WD-40. Oh no, some water got in there and it's corroded a bit. My favourite calipers. So if I just quickly give this a measure, we're looking at a bit under a centimetre. We'll say it's a centimetre. So if it's a centimetre and it's spinning, the surface velocity of this face that you're using to grind with, that is the most important part. So when you're using cabbing wheels, you're looking at like 1,400 RPM. This running at 8,000, the surface is actually still slower than that cabbing wheel, because that cabbing wheel can be 8 inches in diameter from the center point. So from the center, you can see that this is only like half a centimeter. So it can spin much faster without causing too much heat buildup on the face. So hopefully that helps. That's the real short version of it. But you can actually calculate that face velocity. I think it's, what is it technically? Linear velocity from angular velocity, something like that. So you can actually calculate that with some online calculators. I can't remember my favorite one, but there is one out there that I've used in the past. And then, yeah, you can really fine tune your speed to match the cabbing wheels if you really want. But honestly, with the burrs, I find that going slower is not a problem. It's just not a hindrance at all to the speed of it. I mean, of course, with the sintered burrs, you get through a lot more material with the sintered wheel, and it's much slower with the points, with the burrs. But it's not unmanageable. It's actually quite good if you're a bit nervous of going through thin color bars and stuff. With wheels, you can get through a thin color bar in a heartbeat. With the Dremel, you've got a bit of time and a bit of forgiveness. Now this one here I've had sitting aside that I might work on a little bit, but for that one I think I need to get the Nova points out, so we won't bother with that for now. And I've fallen way behind on chat with that one, so if I go back 10,000 hours to become expert, probably even more. I know that's the general rule though, and it's alright. Nick Hoop's masterpiece, it is indeed. That Cuba Petey, it's a nice area this time of year. Don't go in summer, you'll get burnt. Yeah, it's not even like stalling content though, because they've got this rule where you can do transformative like reaction videos and stuff. Even though I don't like reaction videos, I think it's a bit too lazy. But yeah, in that case, you're meant to have a copyright exemption. But if it's an auto claim thing, then you have to wait 30 days for the copyright holder to approve it, and it just takes way too long. I don't know how channels that rely on just reaction videos operate, actually. They must record hundreds of videos and put them all up and just wait that 30 days. But might fluoresce with UV light, I believe so. Most opal will fluoresce with the UV light. It just depends on the UV light that you're using. Any special opals coming up in the near future? Well, the next video should be... Actually, no, I don't want to show that. I've got the anonymous miner in Lightning Ridge that sent through a few of those stones. It was one of the best performing videos in recent times, actually. And they sent through a Hoyper Black Opal, and there was one like huge one, which I won't show actually. There's one huge one that's in progress. Julian stones are still coming. I've still got Bay State opals. Bay State opals. Bay State opals. I've still got a couple in there to work. Yeah, there's heaps of stuff, but I'm really excited for the big Lightning Ridge Black. It's huge, and I've done some test cuts on the smaller material, and the colour looks good, but the bars were tiny. So those are actually two failed videos. Well, it was one failed video that led into two failed videos. So, yeah, it's a bit tough sometimes doing a YouTube channel. But that's coming up. Yeah, the Outback Opal Hunters do like to re-upload stuff. I guess it costs them a lot to film that show, and they need to squeeze every drop they can out of it. Justin and Phil, so Black Opals Direct and the Opal Mills. Great guy. Now he's got the silversmithing stuff on point. Award-winning silversmith. Dream vacation, Australia. Well, you might want to choose a small section of Australia because the majority of the country is not overly great for tourism. Unless you like heat and dust or torrential rains at this time of year. Yeah, I don't know if it's the copper wire not being soft enough. It's just it might actually be too soft. It might actually be too soft. And then I get bends in it that I can't get rid of, and it's tough. Wolfram Alpha. Well, you could use Wolfram Alpha, but then you're gonna need oh, maybe not. Maybe it will do a conversion. Normally you can just type stuff in and go for that. I haven't used it since what? No, early uni days. Because then I was using MATLAB after that. Whoa, the chat's going quick. Novus to 8,000. But can't polish boulder for toffee. So for boulder, I just switch over to aluminium oxide. Aluminium oxide does a great job. Sometimes you get it stuck in the pits and stuff, but that's where you've just got to use a lot of water. Just keep the water going. Oh, sometimes the camera goes really bright on my face because I'm moving. What else do we have? Rewatch, that's alright. I'll probably put this up as in its full thing. I don't think I'll edit it down. It gets lumpy as I polish and looks grey silver. Would you recommend leather? It gets lumpy. Leather. Some people do like leather. It tends to not build up so much on leather. But I find that a really hard felt, is actually pretty good. Yeah. The water's the most important part. If you get a lot of water in there, you won't get too much build up of anything, really. Prospectors offered us $7.50 an episode. Oh, is that for... I actually got tapped on the shoulder by Outback Opal Hunters, but I haven't said anything on the channel yet. Haven't said that on the channel yet. Half hard sterling silver, basically. I haven't actually used silver wire. Silver wire for wire wrapping. I don't know. I'm too scared. I'll make a mess of it. Then I'll have to melt the silver down and use it later on. A boulder polishing video. I mean, a lot of the boulder polishing videos I've done recently are typically focused on full face boulder, so it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same as polishing any other kind of opal. So it's not quite so exciting. But if you mean polishing something more like this, I can probably get onto that. Though this one probably does need a resin treatment. Maybe I'll find something that's kind of a middle ground, because that one's going to need a different technique to what you'd normally use anyway, I think. And I've got no shortage. I've got no shortage of boulder. Let me just pull out a bag here for a second. The dog is clawing through the walls. Like, oh god. So I've got bags that are, what's on this side? Nothing. Bags that are like this size. That's my hand. Fairly weighty. What's in here? About 1/4 kilo. I've got maybe, I would say I've probably got about 6 kilo of boulder opal. It's a problem. It's a problem. But sometimes Nick sends it. Sometimes I buy it. It's boulder opal's a weak spot for me. Boulder surface goes from smooth on 3000 and starts to get lumpy, and has a grey silver sheen when I polish. I might actually know what you mean. Do I have something on my desk? Normally I'm so messy that I've got something on my desk to demonstrate anything. Doesn't really look like it. What about this one? I think I know what you mean. And that silvery sheen is not a bad thing. That typically forms on the harder kind of darker brown boulder. Similar to this, even darker than this actually. I mean, you can kind of see it. Oh, maybe not. Oh, maybe. Yeah, like that. That kind of sheen. That's not a bad thing. That's it starting to take a polish, but that's more on the opal than the boulder. It can actually look a little bit strange, boulder opal, when it's polished. It's too hard to go get that case out of boulder finished stones. But yeah, the silver sheen is not always a bad thing. It kind of makes it sound like you're on track for a polish. Start cutting a stone. I mean, I could get the Nova points onto this one, and I can't actually remember what I was working on this stone for. There's so many stones. So many stones. But I'm just glad that the testers worked out quite well. Means there'll be future sessions where I fully go through some stones, and we can just vote on a material and then just drag something out. I can have a range prepared and we can do a vote at the start of a video. Let's make sure I'm up to date with this. I was surprised by how Opal made flats at finer grits. And many stop fairly low, then go serum. Yeah. About 1200 is probably... You don't want to jump from 600 to cerium, but 1200 is okay. Resin from the Novas. I've got about 40 kilo. Yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. Resin from the Novas. If you notice that your Novas are degrading fast, that can happen with boulder. You've got to be careful, and that's why I'm always checking with my finger to make sure that there's no sharp edges. Actually, it's probably better I look at chat from over here. There we go. That's not bad. But yeah, you can get the resin from the Novas disappearing every now and then, which is not good. It tends to only happen if you go really quick though, or push really hard. Oh, this card issue was a video card driver update. I should have checked that. I updated the software that I used to stream and everything. I basically updated everything, restarted everything, and then it was all ready to go, I thought. And then yeah, video card driver. I mean, the old driver used to work, so I don't know why it would make it so that it wouldn't work anymore. It's a huge pain, but we got through it. We do say choroid is the opal that eats diamond wheels. Yeah, with the opal nuts, just because of the just because of the sheer amount of pores and holes and stuff that it can form in it, you can strip a diamond wheel. Well, not a diamond, not a sintered diamond, but you can strip a Nova diamond wheel really quick. Really quick. Let me just change out the burrs. Oh, and on the point of changing out these kind of things, because I see in less in our Facebook group, but more in the general Dremel. I'm part of a lot of Facebook groups, but I'm part of one that's a Dremel user group, and a lot of the time people are talking about this wearing out way too quickly, and basically they refund their tools. The trick is just not to crank it. Like, I know that these little notches here are perfect for you to get your little spanner tool, and this isn't actually the one for this, so it might not fit. Oh no, it does. And just absolutely crank the hell out of this so that your burr doesn't come out. But I find that finger tight, I can make this tight enough for what we're doing. So if you're working opal and stuff, don't over tighten anything. You can just retighten if it starts coming loose. But in general, just fingers. This one's got a nice little lock button, which is a bit easier than my flex shaft, which needs a tool that I've lost. No, it just needs like a little metal stick. Well, this is like kind of like an Allen key, but that's a little bit more of a pain. But yeah, just don't over tighten. Don't over tighten your stuff. Do not over tighten. I don't even comment on that Facebook group anymore. It's the problems are always the same, and it's people just not knowing how to use the tool all that well. Whoop, I've missed a lot. I got sidetracked. Yeah, melting silver back down is pretty easy. Oh, actually, no, I haven't missed much. I don't know why. Sometimes the chat just jumps. What is the difference between Cooper PD white opal and Lightning Ridge black? Saying that everything is the same except the body tone. So basically, what's the difference between white and black? Because you can get white opal in Lightning Ridge as well. So, and you can get black opal in Cooper PD. The price of the body tones it's significant. It's a lot. Percentage-wise, if you had the exact same color pattern and brightness, I mean, even brightness looks brighter on black than it does on white, so it's really hard to get there. But white opal in general, it's much cheaper. If you've got $1,000 a carat on a black, then the same kind of quality white can be less than half, way less than half actually. Sometimes it's absolutely brutal. I think it's because it's mainly the marketing of, because some people like the look of white, but kind of the marketing around Australian black opal is just so up there that yeah, it just soars. It just because demand is so much higher for it, and supply is so much shorter. It's that supply and demand equation, but it gets a little bit exaggerated and inflated some of the time. But yeah, white opal does get a bit of a tough time. Now, let me reposition myself again. I actually don't know how long we've been going for. I actually have no way to know what's going on. Does it not give me a... Oh man, we've almost been going for an hour. We're just off an hour. So yeah, if you've got any last questions, go for it. But for now, I'll just show you this. So I've got a little opal here on a dop stick. This is a chopstick that I've snapped one end off. I don't know why, I must have been too lazy to saw it. And then the other end, which I've sawed off because you need it nice and flat, or just sandpapered. And then this is just held on. So this dop is just super glue. I do this when I need to rush something. Or is it super glue? Wait a minute. It could actually be epoxy. Could be an epoxy. It's actually really hard to tell now that I've dunked it in water. Let me just dry that. It is... Nah, that would be super glue. Alright, so that's just the normal super glue. You can use wax, you can use epoxy, you can use whatever you want. People get in huge arguments about it all the time, but use whatever you're comfortable with and get good results with. I do not really need to fight that battle. I personally use epoxy when I've got no reason not to, but for the YouTube channel, super glue. And you can see it's just on there. So, Black Nova Point, always water. You can dunk both in water, one in water, but always water. And let's listen to this. And why do we dop? Just because you get much more fine control. You can see it a lot better. You can see everything. And it really helps with shaping. But I was interested to see how bad this sounds on stream. So if anyone can just comment now. Because that's going to be much louder than the felt. And this stone didn't really need a trim down, but it's getting one. It's getting one now. That edge looks a little bit uneven actually, so it's probably a good thing to bring that back. But anyway, how loud is that grinding against it? Good night, Jackie. Are you using the flex shaft attachment less? No, I'm using it all the time. This is one of the rare times that I'm not actually using it. Dremel threaded felt bits have different shaft size. Oh, for that, you can avoid that with what I've got on my flex shaft. So this little chuck can fit like the full range of bits that I've got. So you don't actually need to change the inside collets at all. Adjustable chuck or something it'll be called. But yeah, I got that one sent to me and I haven't taken it off. It's very useful. I've gone back to wax. How do you remove the wax residue? I chuck the stones in a Ziploc bag and put them in the freezer. And then just chip off all the wax at the end. You can also grind it off, but I don't like the wax to get into like sintered burrs or anything like that. It can kind of grip in there pretty bad. That's not too loud. That's actually very quiet. Yeah, so I think this doesn't have a lot of power. It's incredibly weak. Wattage wise, yeah, okay, it's very weak. Yeah, it's much weaker than my standard rotary tool. That's 170 watts. Wow, alright. So, this is very weak, and we wouldn't be able to do a lot of sintered burr work with it, I don't think. I mean, maybe we could, but it'd be very slow, so I wouldn't be able to do something really rough. But I think for maybe any rub work, we could actually do it live on the channel, for sure. For sure. That noise level is very tolerable. Oh yeah. I mean, probably wouldn't. I'd like to do some talking while cutting. Otherwise, it's kind of just watching someone cutting, which is not that good. Cockatoo Birdman, don't hear it. Good. Black opal that I can show. There's a fair bit on the channel. I don't have it typically just sitting out on the bench. What do I have in that bucket of... What do I have in there? What do I have in there? No? God, this is like a vacuum sealed little pouch of... Whoop. Vacuum sealed little pouch of opal. There's a couple bits in there that are actually pretty dark. Yeah, there are. But I don't have any just sitting around that are finished. Most of my finished stones get put into little tackle boxes. It's like those multi-compartment boxes, and yeah, I've got a whole heap of those for each different material, but I don't have any that I can whip out easily. Glue residue is harder. So glue residue, like for this, if I was to get this off the dot, I would literally just drop it in, let it sit in water, come back the next day and try to peel it all off. It typically peels off the wood much faster than it peels off the stone. So the stone, you have to let it sit there for longer, and then sometimes you just need a scalpel blade, and I just slide that underneath. It's not too bad. The super glue is okay. Sometimes the epoxy can really weld on though. Like epoxy can be a bit tough to get off sometimes. But water again. Water is the best. Yeah, you can use alcohol for certain things. I got a bottle of isopropyl over there that I use for sometimes cleaning, but mostly not Opal related stuff. Don't need power with finesse, that's true, but you need time with finesse as well. With less power, I think a stone, working it from rough to fully polished with this would maybe take, I don't know, maybe 10 times longer than the flex shaft, which already takes 10 times longer than a cabbing wheel. So yeah, it's a very slow stream that would be. 12 volt portable rotary. Yeah. The noise it made on the first try was awful. Well, that's better than the first one of these that I bought, plugged it in, didn't turn on. Couldn't work it out. I tried multiple different things, multiple different power points and everything. The brushes were probably dead on it, but hell, I swapped that one back, swapped it over for this one, and it's been going for, well, past its warranty, and that was 3 years, so not a bad $50. I am worried it is dying though. I am pretty certain this one is dying. Every now and then the motor over revs like you would not believe, and I just have to wait for it to settle down before working on the Opal again. So at some point we will have a funeral for this on the channel. There will be a funeral, and I will probably have to go for an upgrade. I'll probably buy a backup as well. I'll probably buy a backup because, yeah, it's been a great tool. The reviews online, I don't know how people are having such issues with it, but maybe I just got a extra special model. I'll have to contact the Zito and ask them if there's an even more special model that'll last me a lifetime. Oh. Use it at car shows, yeah. I've thought about doing I know Famo, he's already left the chat, but Famo was saying the other day that when he goes to these kind of meets and greets and stuff, like if I could set up a little station with something like this, all I need is a tiny bit of power, and I could set up my entire YouTube setup there, and it would do incredibly well. So he goes to a lot of little events like that, and I go to none. I live in the shed. That gets the stone off the stick, but I'm talking about glue residue. So even with the glue residue on stone, it just takes longer, but the same things typically work for me. The announcement, it wasn't much of an announcement. It was mainly just that there is a website in development. Well, it's actually well into development now and about ready for release, so I'll just time it for the end of financial year. And then, yeah, before that, anyone that needs to buy some stuff, get in touch quickly and we'll sort that out before, yeah, it'll become real slim pickings. I don't imagine I'm going to keep up with stock very easily. I mean, so the sintered sets that I have, that one's over there somewhere. The glare off my thing is insane. So the sintered sets, these little guys, the sintered sets come from China. They don't take long to make because I basically buy like excess stock, which is a little bit more expensive, but I don't want to order like 1,000 units. So if I did though, I could get like a logo printed on it, laser engraved on the front or something, but I don't think I'm not cut out for that at the moment. So they typically take a bit under a month to get to me. The Nova points, these little guys, the Novas, they take much longer from the US. US postage compared to Chinese postage has been very slow. So yeah, I just want people to get a chance of getting them before I basically always sell out. So, I mean, you could message me and when I restock I could set some aside, so it's not too bad. But that's all the announcement was, nothing much. I had a dog as well. Not had a dog, that makes it sound weird. But I had a dog in this room with me at that time. That's my issue with double-sided stones, is you can't scalpel off a residue. Oh, if you've got a double-sided stone, then yeah, you have to go solvent. I mean, I tend not to dop my double-sided, but if you've got a small double-sided, I don't blame you for dopping it. Yeah, there you really do want to go for. The problem is that the acetones and alcohols and stuff can have a bit of a drying effect on opal, just the material itself, the hydrated silica. So you got to be a little bit careful with it. But otherwise, maybe, yeah, if it's already polished, you're in a really tough spot, and you just got to try a couple solvents. Just don't use anything too aggressive. And by aggressive, I mean drying, because then you will start stripping water out of the stone. When you will be making the video on that big opal you showed us a few weeks ago, big opal. That probably is this massive black opal. If it was lightning ridge black opal material, that one's already started. So it will be up on the channel. Maybe next video. Could be next video. I've got a long weekend and it's not too cold at the moment, so I might be able to work on that today, tomorrow, and get that done. Most likely. So I think that's the big opal. It's the biggest opal I've got on the desk currently, unless you mean the opal before that really massive like white lightning ridge one. That one is kind of a that one's on hold. That one's just so big and such a pain to work with a Dremel. You don't want to work anything the size of the palm of your hand when it comes to Dremel work. You want to go a little bit smaller, under an inch in any direction, not too bad. Over an inch, it's slow. It's especially with hard material. If it's meant to be, just don't even think about it. What about a Fordham? The Fordham Dream. I would like to get one. There's a couple other options, a couple other alternatives out there to Fordham as well. I know that is like the brand of choice though. Kind of like people say Dremel, they say Fordham. So I will keep looking. Every now and then they do go on special at my local jewelry supply shop. So it's not out of the question, but I'm most likely going to buy a backup Azito for a little while because it's worked out so incredibly well. Went to Dimboola in 2007. I would have still been in high school at Dimboola actually. Hudmumper, it's a small world. Hating on the cold in Sydney, probably colder than here. At least it's not flooding here anymore. I think, actually I've got a, just because I keep track of it now, I've got a little thermometer here. And at the moment, look at that, we're only 15 degrees. 15 is fine. Oh, dog just kicked down the door. But yeah, alright, maybe I won't work any more stone then. I think that's probably long enough. That's a very good test though, and I very much look forward to doing a proper rough to finish stone live on camera, because that'll be great. I like my videos. Well, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I hate my videos, but I like that I can crunch the entire process down into like a 10 to 20 minute video, but you do lose a lot with that sped up footage and stuff. It'd be nice to talk through like from rough to finished on a variety of different stones. I think it gives a bit more perspective. It might not get very much viewership just because long videos tend to not perform very well, but I think a few people will get a lot out of doing a full like 1 hour long cut. Even though some stones like this stuff here that I've got, like Julian's kind of Bell Knight pieces, the ones that are in this kind of state, they're actually not that bad. I've already started recording videos on all three of these stones, just the intros, but they're really won't take very long with the rotary tool style. And you can see you end up with a fairly nice crystal, even through the plastic dry. You end up with a fairly nice crystal at the end of it, and you can get that done in 30 minutes. That's not too bad at all. You can get through that kind of stuff. So I'll probably do that in a live stream. Should be good. Just need to pick a good time for it. I just wake up really early, and it seems to work for most of the nation, except for the one that I'm in. Most of the nation, most of the world. But yeah. Yeah, the views on YouTube don't really add up to much anyway. If I'm really honest, it's oh, all right, we're getting the dog. We're bringing the dog back. Lola, come on, come on. Yes, she's racing back to end up on camera. We'll go back to the. There we go. You can look at the Nick Hoops painting and this fluffy dog, who is now just staring at herself on the screen again. What? This one. This one. No? Alright. Oh. Calgary, Canada. Oh, and now she wants down again. Gonna come back? No, she's had enough. She just wanted to check on what I was doing. Yeah. But yeah, like I was saying, I think we can do some lives. I think we can do some live full cuts from rough to finish, which is good. I reckon it'll be a huge benefit to many people. What has been your highest performing video over the past few months? I mean, I can have a look. I'll have a quick look for you. I don't actually look at the numbers that much at all. They're quite disappointing sometimes, just because YouTube are... I mean, for such a large company, they really don't want to give creators very much, do they? They really don't. But I'd say that you put Black Opal in a title and that tends to do well, so that parcel that I showed off, this is showing me the best performing videos of all time. That's quite useless. It's quite useless. Yeah, no, it's hard to find. Yeah, it seems that delivery of Black Opal video, that's an unboxing video. I'm surprised that's done so well. I need to work on the thumbnail game. I think thumbnails and clickbait titles are meant to be the best things for YouTube, but I can't bring myself to do it. I just can't bring myself to do it. I just don't want to falsely advertise anything. Puppy's back. Come here. I know. You're heavy, but you love to be cuddled, so... Come on. Oh. Need to hold her like usual. Yeah, she just lounges a lot of the time if I hold her, so unfortunate. No, she just tries to hide under my chin most of the time. Fordham, a cheap Fordham. Can get a knockoff Fordham. Knockoff Fordhams are as cheap as they come. $40 minutes in length. I could probably I can get a cut done in 40 minutes. I just need to pick the right stone. Just don't do the fake shocked face. Might have to. The channel's got to grow. £110. My God. Oh, okay, so she's found herself on the other camera now. On the other laptop. Thanks for the stream, no worries. We'll do more. I mean, it's been a long gap between streams. I wasn't quite happy with the last one, as in the quality of it. So I've just got to keep getting this set up right. And I'm a fair way away from the microphone now, and it seems to be. I mean, the mixer says that it's okay, but we'll just have to get the audio working well. So if Black Opal gets the most views, would it be better to do like 4 Black Opal videos in a row? Yes. Yes, it would be. Be good to just do Black Opals, actually. Just Black Opals is what people want to see. She needs a haircut. I'm gonna cut her hair today, actually. She's way too fluffy. Just these paws themselves are too fluffy. Let alone the face. She can hardly see. Oh, what's wrong? You look like a baby. But yeah, anyway, I will catch you guys later, and we'll definitely do more. She's literally just melting, trying to find a place to hide. Oh, maybe she's embarrassed. She's not. She's always like this. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video, where I'll probably be carving. It probably will be that Black Opal, that massive Black Opal. If you look back on the channel. Oh, and then opals. Royce Black Rocks. Jesus. And then opals. Go check out that channel as well. Riley's good lad. Good lad, and his educational videos are actually better than mine. He just doesn't do purely educational videos. So if you filter through his channel and just pick out the educational ones, like his doping one, fantastic. You won't be disappointed. Oh, my camera got foggy. Yeah, I spend a lot of time trying to work out this audio thing. I mean, the microphone's down here, so if I get close to it, I should probably talk a bit quieter, but I've also got a few other audio options, so we can try some stuff out. We'll work it out. But yeah, thanks for rocking up. I actually didn't see how many viewers we had at any point in time, but there's 24 of us now, so not bad. 25 on that one, 24 on that one, which is strange. Don't know why that's not the same number. But yeah. Anyway, see you later. And get the dog to wave, except she's too busy hiding into me.